Përshëndetje gjithëve, mirë se erdhët në kanalin tim në YouTube channel. Unë jam Linda dhe ju po ndiqni programin më të ri në YouTube channel Zëri Diaspores. Ju ftoj të gjithëve që të bëni subscribe në kanalin tim në YouTube channel Zëri Diaspores për të më suportuar dhe për të më dhënë kurajo që të sjell edhe më shumë zëra, intervista, personalitete dhe ngjarje të ndryshme sociale nga politika dhe nga fushat ndryshme të jetës që ndikojnë dhe kanë interes për komunitetin shqiptar kudo në botë. Do prezantoj para jush një personalitet shumë të dashur dhe të njohur në Shqipëri. Ajo është huaj, njihet nga të gjithë në fakt, por un kam kënaqësi që ta njohim pak së bashku më shumë profesionalisht dhe për kontributin e saj që është duke dhënë në Shqipëri. Ajo është Alice Taylor, ka rreth 8 vite që jeton në Shqipëri, drejton një broadcast në anglisht, por që jepet me titra shqip për ndjekësit shqiptar dhe broadcasti i saj gjithashtu titullohet Inside Albania ose brenda Shqipërisë. Pra çdo gjë që ndodh brenda Shqipërisë mbulon ngjarje dhe tematika të ndryshme sociale, politike, kulturore dhe i sjell ato për jo vetëm për shqiptarët, por për të prekur audienca edhe një audiencë akoma më të gjerë, pra atë ndërkombëtare. Dhe kjo është vërtet për të vlerësuar. Unë e kam në një lidhje Skype nga Tirana. And she's Alice Taylor. Welcome to my channel, Alice.
Hi, thank you very much for the invitation.
Can you tell us about your journey before moving to Albania?
Yes, I will speak in English because I give a lot of interviews in Albanian, and it's sometimes difficult to fully express myself. And as this is a broadcast for the diaspora, I think it's okay for me to speak in English for once. So I left the UK when I was in my early 20s. I went to live in Malta. I lived there for 10 years. From the age of 5 years old, I'd always written stories and poems, and I'd wanted to be a writer. At the age of 11, I started a newspaper. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be on TV, but my parents had told me, it's not a good career. So I studied law. I went to work in a legal office. I hated it. And eventually I found a way to start writing for the local media, the national media in Malta. And I became a very well-known opinion columnist there. And I was working alongside Daphne Caruana Galizia in 2017 when she was assassinated, she was murdered. And obviously this was a very stressful moment for me. So I left Malta for some time to kind of figure out what I was going to do. I went to stay with some friends in Cyprus. And from there, I booked a holiday to Tirana just for 3.5 days, the weekend. It was one of those flights which is a last minute, I went on Skyscanner and I found a cheap flight and I was like, oh, where's Tirana? I mean, I knew where it was, but I didn't know much about Albania.
Yeah.
And I came and I loved the country. I found it very friendly, very welcoming. I felt at home very quickly. I felt very safe as a woman by myself here, which was very important to me. And there was a curious number of events which took place over those 3 days, which ended up with me extending my stay in Albania to 3 weeks. And at the end of 3 weeks, I had decided that I would live there. So I left Albania, I went back to Malta, I packed up all my belongings and my 2 cats, and I moved back to Albania. That was 8 years ago now. In October, it will be 8 years. So I got Albanian citizenship. My daughter is Albanian citizen. She's fluent in both languages. My mother lives in Albania. I've bought my own home in Albania and I will remain here. So a short 3-day holiday turned into a lifetime. As you said, I have a TV show here with Euronews Albania. I've written more than 5,000 articles about Albania over the last 8 years. I get around 2 to 5 million views every month across social media on my videos and my pictures about Albania. And I've written 3 books on Albania as well. So from a 3-day holiday, it's become my life being here. But I do all these things it's natural to me. I enjoy traveling around the country. Yeah. I find it interesting what I find. I meet interesting people. It's a beautiful country. So for me, as someone who's always been artistic and creative and into communications, it's natural for me to then make TV, write articles, take photographs, write books. It's just everything seems natural to me here.
In the same time, Alice, you are promoting Albania when you travel and during your visit in different cities of Albania. Tell us about your feelings.
Well, I quite often, I mean, I travel with my family, or sometimes it's just me and my daughter, and we will go to the bus station in Tirana, and we will just get on any bus. The next bus to leave, we get on it and we go wherever. It could be Puka, it could be Elbasan, it could be Berat. We just go wherever, and I take my camera and I stop and I talk to people on the bus, and I stop and talk to people in a market or in the street, and I ask questions. And it's just so interesting. You know, there's so much outside of Tirana. There is so much of this country which is undiscovered. I've traveled to villages which are they don't have roads going to them, where there's no phone signal at all, for example, where people live with no connectivity to the outside world. Quite happily, I may say, they're quite happy there, you know. I've been to places that Albanians themselves don't know exist. My publisher, both of my publishers, after reading the books that I've written, said, you know, we're Albanian, we're educated, you know, but we don't know half of the things and the places that you've been to. So I find it so interesting. You know, I can go to a city 10 times, and each time I will meet someone different or hear a different story or have a different experience. Or it's also unexpected here. Like, there are so many interesting people. So for me, it's just a continual enjoyment, but also I'm constantly hearing stories and seeing places that inspire me to write, to make documentaries, and to create more. The fact that it promotes Albania, this is good as well. I don't get paid for it, but you know, I'm happy that it promotes Albania. But also, it's important, more important to me, because Albania is changing so quickly. A lot of people have left, a lot of people are leaving, not just to other countries, but to other cities. So a lot of traditions and culture and ethnographic points and like legends and stories are being lost. I've written about things and photographed things which don't exist anymore, you know, because it's changing so quickly. So from my perspective, I see it as important work to capture these points of Albania before they disappear and before they change.